Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's class. We are going to be doing broccoli cheddar soup today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so before we get into the recipe, let's do what we always do. Let's take some deep breaths together just to bring ourselves right here, right now. I know I really need that today. I'm feeling a lot of just zippy, anxious energy today. So I need some breaths. So we're just going to do some Samavriti today. That means an equal breath. We're going to count up to a comfortable peak, pause, and then release our breath the same amount that we brought in. So if we have a count of 5, then we'll release it to 5. And I'll count us just for 2 breaths, and then we will do a few on our own. And you can figure out what your number is or what your sense of that equal breath is. And when we are breathing, we also want to sip the breath really slowly with a sort of sound that we can hear in our skull, in our ears. That slows it down and is very, very soothing. Okay? Okay. So let's do it. Ready? I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause at the peak and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just do a few more on our own at our own pace. Okay, I feel a little bit better. Definitely felt some sort of hot and cold sensation, some stuff moving through. That's a good thing. And so now I hope that I can really be here with you all. I'm just going to set an intention. I invite you to do the same. Just bring your hands to heart center. How do you want to feel? What is it that you're hoping this practice will do for you? And just say it gently inside your own mind, body. And let's begin. Okay. All right. So we're making a really simple broccoli and cheddar soup, which is a classic, something that I really enjoy. And it starts like almost every soup with onion at the base, onion and garlic. So we're going to get that going. I have a lot of thoughts running through my head. I'll just really share that today. Wow. Busy, busy mind today. It's very hard to stay focused. So I think since I've noted that, and since this is the work, it doesn't always come easy. It really doesn't. Even if this is something you do all the time, like me. I do this all the time, and yet some days it is very hard to really focus. I have worries on my mind, uncertainties. I didn't get much sleep last night. And when that happens, it's like everything becomes, for me, my experience is everything feels urgent, begins to feel like I need to do everything all at once. When really this is the total opposite of what I need to do. I need usually to simply pick one thing and do it. And give it my best. But that can be hard. And the mind is like, but everything is urgent. And I think it has more to do with just not liking the feeling of uncertainty, not liking the feeling of certain things not being done yet, fear that maybe I won't be able to get it done because of experiences I've had in the past, or just discomfort with maybe, I think for sure there are some tasks that I'm kind of avoiding because they make me nervous, or they're going to put me out there in a way, or I have to confront some sort of things not working out the way I want them to. And I have to sit with that when I do them. So here I am. I'm really looking at this purple onion. I'm going to try my best to just really focus on it. Observe myself as I chop. So here we are, onion done. We'll do the onion and garlic together. I'm just laughing at myself because I really am. My brain is just going, whoo. And I know, my wise self knows everything is fine. But there's some sort of discomfort, probably the tiredness, and the sort of way that tiredness can create imbalances in the body's like chemistry, right? And so there's this discomfort that then my mind is trying to make something of it. Like, why do I feel so uncomfortable? Something must be wrong. It must be here. It must be here. It must be here. It makes something of what's in front of you, right? It's like trying to find an explanation so we can fix it. I don't think this is fixable until I just get some sleep tonight. And so in the meantime, I think I need to just work on not making it into a big deal for myself. A big issue, So 4 tablespoons of butter for this is quite a bit of butter. It's a little more than I would probably do if it was my recipe, but you know what? Let's go for it. This is like a rich recipe. I'm already going to be using milk instead of half and half, so and it's a nice amount of fat. I think it's okay. So half a stick of butter. I'm going to put the rest in the fridge. Half a stick of butter melting in here. I'm going to add the onion and the garlic. And then we're going to make a roux, which I don't think I've ever showed you before, which is fun. But it's something that we use to thicken soups and stews. And it's really just the use of flour, or sometimes you can use cornstarch or other types of non-gluten flours, but we're just using a regular all-purpose flour today. And we add that in and we mix it with the fat, the butter, and it thickens it up. And then when we add in our stock and our liquid, it creates this thick, the paste sort of makes everything thicken and have that beautiful sort of creaminess to it. You might also think of a roux in the use of in making a gumbo. Famously, in Louisiana, they make really dark toasted roux. So they actually use the flour in the butter or the oil, and you cook it for a long time, and you whisk it, stir it for a long time, allowing the flour itself to actually darken and darken and darken and toast, and it creates this wonderful flavor. But we're not going to do that today because we don't want that dark toasty flavor in our broccoli, but just for your information. So I hear the butter sizzling. Enjoying using my senses, trusting my senses. Look at all this butter. Isn't that fun? Here. All that butter melted. Oh, and it smells heavenly. Okay. We're going to add the onion and garlic. So fun. And I'm going to grab something to stir it. Here I am. Give a little stir here. I'm going to add just a bit of salt at this point, just a little pinch. Fabulous. And I'm going a little off camera there, but it's not super important. I guess I'll cut up the broccoli now while we wait for that, and then I can bring us over to the stove. And so this recipe calls for, I say, 3 cups of chopped broccoli. It's a little hard to measure. I think I'm probably doing more than that. I grabbed 3 sort of stalks and florets here. And yeah, I'm sure we're going to end up with more than that, but I'm cool with that personally. I think I like a lot of broccoli. And I'm going to chop the broccoli stalks quite small. Everything I'm going to try to chop relatively small, actually, because we want this to cook kind of quickly. It doesn't have to, but this recipe is trying to be a quicker soup, and so chopping things smaller really helps that. As we know, it makes sense, right? Very nice. Okay. All those stalks. I'm going to just do this really roughly. I'm a huge broccoli fan. I have liked it since I was a kid. My daughter does not like it. But maybe one day. Tends to be a bit of a polarizing vegetable, I think, because it is a little bitter. Oh, I'm noticing I'm just not taking those deep breaths as easily as usual. Still feeling some anxiety. That's okay. It's really okay. Just got to be patient with myself about these things. We don't sort of leave a lifetime of anxiety behind us just because we learn these types of techniques. Always going to be something that we have to work on and work with and accept, really accept. That some days, this is how we feel. I'm going to check on the onion now. Ooh, yeah. Oh, it's smelling amazing. So things are getting just a little translucent. We have a little bit of toasty garlic in there. So now I'm going to add in, actually, you know what? You guys need to see this. I am going to bring the camera over here. Yeah. There we go. Good. Okay. So here we go. I add in 4 tablespoons. So 4 tablespoons of butter and then 4 tablespoons of flour. Equal parts. Equal breathing, equal fat and flour amounts. Okay, so now you can see that goes in there. And we're going to mix it with all that butter. And of course, we have the onion and garlic in here, and it's getting all thick. Okay, and that's really at this point all there is to that. Looks a little weird, but we're going to add some more stuff. This is my addition. I think a little bit of mustard is so yummy in broccoli cheddar soup, so that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to estimate about a little bit more, maybe a tablespoon or so of Dijon mustard. And then this recipe also calls for paprika. I'm going to do a bit of that. A teaspoon, but you can add yours to taste. I actually think that's probably more like a half teaspoon. Not too much, really. I might add more. Oh, yeah. The aroma of the mustard now. Oh, yeah, baby. And I'm actually going to add in the broccoli stems now because I personally... No, you know what? I'm not, because I can't separate them very easily. I have made broccoli cheddar soup before where you add it in and kind of like try to get some char on it, but I'm not going to bother today. It's going to be just lovely as it is. Let's keep it simple. We're going to add 2 cups of stock now. And now because of that roux, as I stir this and it's looking really lumpy and kind of crazy, but you can see it's getting cloudy immediately, and it's going to thicken as the flour mixes in with all that stock. It's not actually all that much stock, just 2 cups. I might do a bit more, just water, because I have a little bit more broccoli. And we're going to add in the milk a little later. But I'm just going to let that, I've got it on fairly high heat. I'm going to let it come to a boil. And I will grab the rest of our stuff and finish chopping here. We have our broccoli. You know what? I'm just not going to worry too much about this. We're not being that precious today. And I want to show you just how flexible this stuff is. Like, I'm going to put in all this now. And it's going to be just fine if I don't do it all at once. And it's not that big a deal if the stems and whatever cook separately. It's all good. And then I'm going to finish these. Let's give this a little stir. Can you see the thickness of this? Like, it's coating this rather than, it doesn't look like water, right? Because of all of that thickness from the root. Actually, you can't hear him, but I'm looking after a friend's dog right now, and his name is Rue. It's spelled differently. Rue is a French word, so Roux is the one we're talking about in the soup, and Rue is Roo, like a kangaroo. But it's possible he may pop across the screen at some point. Look at all that. I don't know if you can see just how quickly it's gone to bright green. Okay, we're going to add the rest. Okay, I'm going to add a little more stock. By stock, I mean water. And turn it down a little bit because it was boiling a little intensely. You can feel that some stuff is getting stuck to the bottom of the pan here. Okay, so I'm going to actually put a lid on here. Move this out of the way. Okay, we have just a couple more tasks here before we can just chill and leave it for a bit. We're going to, in this recipe, it calls to add grated carrot sort of with everything, which I think is kind of interesting. So let's do it. I would probably, if I were adding it, I would have just added it with the onions, but why not? I am just using this sort of fine shredder over here. There's some major boiling happening already. So let's turn this down. We'll add the carrot. Then we're going to use the grater to grate some cheddar because we got to do that. We got to do cheddar because it's broccoli cheddar soup. Mix in this carrot. It's so finely shredded, I don't think it's going to take very long. Okay, I'm going to put the lid back on. I don't recall how much cheddar they actually suggest. So I'm just going to do the amount that I feel right about. And I'm guessing they would say 1.5 cups, maybe even 2 cups of shredded cheddar. You can use whatever kind you like. I really don't keep mild orange cheddars in the house. That's just not for me. I like sharp, crumbly, flavorful cheddar, or I cannot really be bothered with it. So that's what we have here. That's the amount of cheddar I'm going to use here. And that's it. Other than the milk and the cheddar, we are now done. We are ready. And so let's let this simmer, and I'm actually going to set a timer for us for 10 minutes, just so that we don't go too far. Me. And let's do a meditation. I could really use it, like I said. So I can feel the warmth of this. It's very soothing. And so I'm going to use that as a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration, I think, for what I'm searching for in this meditation, which is just a sort of warm calm. So I'll invite you, wherever you are, to maybe sit if you can. And if not, if you're like me, you need to stand. Feel your feet on the ground. Just bring your awareness to it, to the feet. And try to press your weight into every corner of your feet equally. The big toe. As you press your big toe down, feel the way it changes your posture a little bit. The small adjustments you make. As you press your baby toe down, the same. How do you adjust your legs so that you can really press into that and into your heels, to all 4 corners of your feet, and then down through the center of your foot as well, and the arch. Really allowing yourself to be pressed against the earth. And feel that support. And now with that support, let it sort of melt, draw upward through your shin, your knees. Your knees are stacked and supported. Your thighs. Into your pelvis, your hips, front and back. Again, thinking about even weight distribution. Feeling yourself supported, feeling and noting any sensations you might be having in any of these areas, but not dwelling on them. And feeling it move up into your stomach and low back, and your waist, your ribs. Into your shoulder blades, your upper back, your chest. Up through your collarbones, all the way to the tops of your shoulders. And then down your arms, fronts and backs of the arms, the triceps, the biceps, the elbows, forearms, wrists and hands. And fingers all the way out to the edge of your body. Now bring your awareness back up to your collarbone, to your neck, and up into your skull, your jaw, your cheeks and ears, eyes, nose, forehead, your scalp, and up through the top of your head. And feel the edge of your body. And if you can, just for a moment, notice that while we may feel that there is an edge and end to our body, it's kind of a soft edge. As we mingle with, as our atoms mingle with the world around us. Just a little bit. And breathe deeply and slowly. And now allow yourself to go a little deeper inside your body. Into the very center of you. And feel the warmth and comfort. The flow of your body. The sense of space within. If you find yourself distracted by other thoughts, try to bring yourself back to the breath and reconnect with that flow and the warmth and the feeling of not quite having an edge. Just allow the sensations that are right there with you, everywhere you go, to wash over you and soothe you and tell you the truth of who and what you are. Divine being. And now, with your eyes closed, bring your gaze to that space just in front of you. Focus all of your concentration, your awareness right there, just for 1 minute, starting now. Now bring your hands to heart center, and I'll finish us up with one Om. Hands come down, eyes gently open as we come back into the world of the living. Just in time. Woo! For a steam bath. I know what you guys are. Wow, that helped me. I feel so much better. Now I'm going to add our milk. This will do about 2 cups. I'm going to, surprise, surprise, eyeball this situation. Probably a little less than 2 cups. I think that's okay. Oh gosh, this looks really good. Creamy, creamy. I'm going to turn up the heat for a moment again since we just added all that cold milk in there. I'm going to grab a spoon for tasting and see how we're doing. I don't notice much from the paprika or the carrot here, so I may just add a little bit more. Why not? Paprika is really not a super strong flavor. It just adds a nice, just a little gentle heat. If you get smoked paprika, and adds that lovely smoky note, which I personally love. I think is wonderful in this type of thing. I'm going to taste a little bit, see how these guys are doing, tenderness-wise. hot. Oh, but very nice and tender. Mmm. Mmm, good. The broth itself is a little bland, but that's because it doesn't have any cheese in it yet. I'm just gonna add a bit more salt since I added that water instead of the stock. So I'm gonna add this cheese now. We wait until the end to add the cheese because I actually don't want to cook it a long time with the cheese in it, or it will start to split and get all oily and instead of nice and homogeneous in here. So I just wanted to make sure that the broccoli was fully cooked before I add in the cheese. But because of the roux, you see there's a science to all of this. It allows the cheese to melt in and become a part of the whole situation this really smooth way that it wouldn't if we didn't have that thickener in there. Okay, this is looking great. It is splitting a tiny bit, and that happens, and it's really not a big deal. Personally, I'm unbothered. If you were doing this for, I don't know, a broccoli cheddar soup making competition, maybe you'd want to make sure this didn't happen. Make an effort, put it on a lower heat, really think about the quantities of things exactly right. But otherwise, no big deal. Let's do some pepper too while we're at it. And we're going to taste it. And I think we're going to call this done. The other really fun thing to do with a broccoli cheddar soup is to take an immersion blender and just blitz up some of it so you have a sort of smoother part and then some chunkier parts in too. I don't think I'm going to bother with that today, but it's a nice option. Oh, it's just so hot. I mean, it's boiling. Let me turn it down. I'm turn it way down actually because I don't want the cheddar to be split more than it already is. Yeah, great. Needs just a bit more salt. It can be tough. You'll notice I really didn't add much salt because we had a little stock and I knew we were adding the cheddar and that just adds so much saltiness. So I don't tend to salt as much as I go when I know I'm adding cheese into something. But it can mean that you'll have to add it at the end like this and just figure it out. Which is fine, of course. But now I am happy with that now. I will eat a bowl of this. All right, everybody. Well, thank you. This is your broccoli cheddar soup. Have it with some toast. Have it on its own. Have it in a bread bowl. That's a thing. Enjoy. And I hope that this helped calm me down a little bit the way it really helped me come back into myself. Thank you so very much. And I will see you next week. Same time. As always, please let me know any thoughts, feelings you have, and any requests you have. I'm so happy to accommodate anytime. Thank you.